really windy today. Well, we're gonna go for a little drive. It's a nice winter day. Bright blue sky. We're gonna take a little drive down to Victoria Beach. See what's happening down there. See if there's any lobster boats in the basin. It's probably a little bit too windy for anything to be going on, but we're gonna have a look. It's too nice of a day to be home. And honestly, it's a little bit too chilly to be, with the wind and the wind chill, it's a little bit too windy to be taking the dogs for a walk. It kind of goes right through you right now. So. The lobster season has recently opened, although normally there's not a lot going on this time of year, but wow. The tide is definitely full. That's a full tide. That's like a supermoon tide. Or actually, this morning was that ultra rare red moon eclipse, solar eclipse. It's probably got something to do with that. It is a full moon, so. But that seems to be the very full tide. So we're trying a little something different today. I've got a microphone for inside the Jeep, so that when I'm filming outside the Jeep, hopefully it cuts down on a lot of that wind noise and all the other noises that are distracting. There's like a high-pitched scream that comes off. It doesn't necessarily do it when I'm using in the summertime, but when I'm using my suction mount to the top, because magnets don't work on a Jeep because the paneling's either fiberglass or aluminum, so magnets aren't going to work. But when I use my suction mount, there's a couple little spots, and I think what it is there's sliders, spaces. There's spaces where you can slide some of the fasteners to make it specific to, I guess, your vehicle's roof or door or contour that you need or desire or whatever shot you're going for, so it fits into those spaces. But those spaces seem to be wind whistles when I'm filming outside of my vehicle in the wintertime, because it's almost acting like that, like a flute or a reed. I guess it would be a reed effect, not a flute, but it would be a reed effect that's, you know, giving you your tone in a flute. Oh yeah, the basin is really choppy. We got a bit of snow coming this evening, so it doesn't really surprise me. That system must be on its way in. But I'm interested to see how well this works. I'm hoping that it solves a bit of the... Pardon me, I just got a little bit of hiccup. I'm hoping that it solves a little bit of that problem and makes the ride just a little bit more enjoyable, with maybe a little more of the natural ambiance of the drive. You know, the little bit of engine noise, minor, you know, the minor wind, the vehicles going by, stuff like that. But I just don't want it to be the high-pitched squeal of a misplaced camera rig that kind of overtakes the whole video and makes it so that it might not be watchable or tolerable to some people. Because I totally get it. If your ears are screaming your eyes are going to be looking for something else, which it breaks my heart, because I've had a lot of nice drives and nice spots that I think the audio has been what has drove people away. And what I've learned with trying to fill my audio with music, so to say, is the music might not be everybody's forte. So that's one. But the other thing is, what an app or a program might have the rights to, and might be A1 for 6 months, 8 months. There might come a day where that's 30 second, 40 second, a minute and 4 seconds worth of audio that you've used get your video pulled or flagged, or even if you're not getting a copyright that directly pulls your channel, I'm pretty sure within the algorithm it is affecting a lot of stuff that pushes your video, where if that video didn't have that copyright pop up on it, it might still be getting a little bit of traction, which is kind of unfortunate, because you know, you're paying for the ability to, I guess, to use that, and then for all of a sudden it to be, well, we've shifted that song to another platform, so now it's, I guess, being copywritten because it came out of this platform. Is, I guess that's what's driven me to kind of not fill my videos full of audio, because the fact is each one of these videos takes a little bit to make. Gas is getting a little bit more expensive every day, and you try to grow the channel for the ability to keep on doing it, and hopefully that it, you know, the hobby pays for itself type thing, and you get to showcase your beautiful province at the same time. Win-win. But I think that I was somewhat shooting myself in the foot with some of my winter content, with not having the ability to change the audio around and record from inside the Jeep. But as it grows a little bit, it gives me a little bit more comfort in buying or investing in a few things that might take this hobby or channel to a little bit different area, or hopefully to the next level. I would like to get to the point where I'm going to go to New Brunswick and to some different places outside of my comfort zone here this summer. Oh, this is interesting. I never really thought I'd see that today, but yeah, smile for the camera guy. It just ceases to amaze me, because yeah, there's driveway right there. You could have just drove to the driveway and turned on a straight stretch completely safe, but that's that could have been absolutely horrible. The decisions some people make. But let me know if the audio is any better, or if you found that the audio was an issue, or if you like these kind of vlog style where I just kind of chat about whatever's in my mind, you know, what we're seeing or whatever's on my plate at that particular time of the day, I guess. But it might be up somebody's alley. It might not be everything for some other people. Just curious to know what you think, or if the change is positive or beneficial or not, or if you're even indifferent to it, that the audio was never really a problem. Maybe you just put some headphones on and watched while you were doing a workout and was listening to some country music of your own. I get it. I don't even blame you. I'm curious. I think it'll make it a little bit better for when I'm editing it myself. Because I'll be honest, that high-pitched squeal, it wears on a feller. I had a mic a little while ago, but it wasn't really working the way I wanted it to. I had to go in on that again. But now it seems to work. It seems to connect to the camera the way it's supposed to. I'm just hoping that the audio quality is a little bit better. It's not just a toned down version of the outside, I guess. Although today there's quite a bit of wind. Even I hear a little bit of howl coming from just the wind shoving me around here. But we're supposed to get a sustained amount of snow through this evening. It's supposed to start pretty light, centimeter or two per hour. Well, around 11 or around midnight, it's really supposed to ramp up. Wow, that's quite a construction going on in there. I've wondered what that was. Most of the summer you can see a big dust cloud down next to the water on the Annapolis River side, or on the Granville side of the Annapolis River. And now I've just drove by and you can actually see where looks to be quite a sizable house that's being constructed there. Probably took quite a bit to shore up the ground down in there for a foundation. That's all like old marshland, not old marshland, but it's all prime marshland, and I bet you'd be quite the morning view. The evening view in the summertime would be quite something too. Oh, we got a little bit of construction going on down here. I just hope that with the river being this choppy, and I mean it's still a mile away from us. This guy paying attention? Just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be entering into a zone, a dangerous zone, I guess. It must be on a break or lunchtime, but sometimes where we're going to be so close to the bay and so close to the river, with these winds and that chop, that airborne spray off of the top of like a white cap wave, that travels quite a ways. Just living on the bay shore, my parents, we brought up on top of a hill looking down at the bay. Is quite a beautiful view, but the salt that Mom and Dad's house took and continues to take, being so high up above it, it lets you know how far that water and that spray travels, and the damage that it can do over the years too. That gets in the nooks and crannies that you don't even consider. So to our left here, this would be Port Royal. That would be one of the oldest settlements in Canada. One of the original settlements in Canada. The history in it speaks for itself, and if you have some time, you should look it up. I won't go into it because I won't do it justice, and I don't want to misquote or misdo anything and put my foot in my mouth, but I feel like there could have been better something going on here with how they're doing these cones and this work. Like on that corner right there, from my perspective, you're a bit higher because you're mounted to the roof right now, but from my perspective, that was a pretty dangerous setup with those cones. Like, yeah. Not sure what to think about this little work scratch here. And now you meet this, and your flagger up there is looking at his phone, just letting vehicles through. All the way up there? Yep. No problem. Thank you. Yep. I hope I don't get somebody in trouble or get fired, but as you can see, that could have been a very unfortunate situation for anybody. Could have been a very unfortunate situation. That really boggles my mind. I feel bad for, I don't know. You want to feel bad for the guy up there that's looking at his phone or whatever he's doing, but jeez. I feel like that holding that sign is kind of like it's kind of like being on deck of a fishing boat and having your nose in your phone. There's better times to check Google, better times to be on Facebook or whatever you got to be doing, but yeah. I'm having mixed feelings about that young feller letting us come down through there with everything going on and meeting that safety vehicle. Like, it really is it's really kind of boggling my mind. I think I got sidetracked. I was just thinking, hopefully some of that salt from the river and what might possibly be in the air, hopefully that's not getting on my lens up there. It's just with I film with a 360 camera. That way, when I'm driving, I can just drive. I don't have to worry about having somebody with me to film. I don't have to worry about trying to have something remote control to pan and get certain shots as I'm driving or whatever. I like with my Jeep and everything, especially in the summertime with the top off, I could have my camera on my mount sticking up through where the roof, where my roof is gone. So it would really give you an unobstructed view. There was no windshield, no nothing. You get the 360 pans, and I've really missed that in the wintertime. And I think some of what I've noticed is some of my videos that are shot from inside the vehicle, the audio seems to be a little bit better because we're inside the vehicle, the wind noise is gone, but I don't get to do the creative shots or some of the scenery that I want to catch. You can't catch a sunrise as it's going by at the right angle you're particularly hoping for, or kind of share it like you're actually turning your head and getting that view, that instinctual view that you might get while somebody's sitting in the passenger seat or riding with you. So I've missed that, making these videos and showing and taking you along on some of these rides. So I'm hoping that with the microphone and the combination of the audio from inside the vehicle and the shots from outside the vehicle, I'm hoping that they mesh together for a more enjoyable experience for you. And the other thing is there was where I was using a 360 cam, and I've got the dual lenses. There's a 180 degree panable lens on the front and a 180 degree panable lens on the back, and they film for the most part together and allow you to look around, and I can edit my film after my drive. But with the two cameras, when you're inside the vehicle and you've got one of the lenses facing forward outside the vehicle, and the other is facing back inside the vehicle in the darker space, you're processing two very different contrasting images with very different white balances, and it wants to make the AI in the camera continuously adjust its settings to try to find a better setting. And by doing that, you end up having happen what I had happen here about 2 weeks ago, where I didn't know why I lost footage, but come to find out that was why, and it was because the camera was so bright outside. The sun was shining beautifully, but inside the Jeep on the back lens, it was telling the camera that half of it was shooting in almost the evening conditions, and the other part was shooting in bright, sunny summertime conditions, let's say. Just an overwhelming amount of light compared to a starving light situation, which made a lot of my footage on that video really when I was coming down through Annapolis, because of the overhanging trees and the constant adjusting, it killed my footage, and a lot of that stuff was unusable. And that kind of forced my hand to, I guess, try to get a situation where I can get around. I mean, there's going to be some days where I can, where I'm just not going to be able to film on the outside of the vehicle. But I want to be able to maximize, excuse me, I want to be able to maximize the days that I am filming outside the vehicle. And make sure that it's quality for you, and that's image and audio. So, but as far as like the drive-alongs and the talk-along, like the drive and talks, it's normally you call them a walk and talk or a vlog or whatever. You might want to call it a driving vlog, where I'm just kind of bringing you along and kind of shooting the proverbial whatever with you, like we're just kind of cruising as a couple buddies or a couple friends having a drive, or maybe just offloading the frustration that I might have or something, I don't know. But if those drives, I'm just curious as to know whether those are something that interests you to go forward in, or whether just an improved audio experience to go along with the 360 driving, whether that's more what you're looking for. I'm curious to see the comments and the feedback in the comments. And to be honest, it just helps me know so that going forward I'm putting the best foot forward for this, and you're getting the content that you deserve. Let's see if anybody's got some lobster traps in the water. Not in the water, but they're down. Oh, somebody's got some. That looks to be the Basin Brewing. I wonder if he's fishing lobster or if he's fishing crab. There's some fisheries that they'll use there's an invasive green crab species that is around, that has come from overseas, and sometimes in the summertime or in the early spring, before the lobster fishery really picks up and it's worth anybody's time to actually fish lobster, because the facts are, you can't go out there and fish it for 8 pounds. And when the water is super cold, the lobster just might not be running the way or moving at the speed that you want. And 100 pounds a week, because hauling your gear more than once a week for the first, as a rule of thumb in the past, around here in District 35 down here in the Bay of Fundy, this didn't pick up or start producing until at least Easter weekend, April. And then and that was, you just caught what was kind of still left around that hadn't migrated out of the bay. Come May, your days are getting, your day is getting long. The sun has had time to affect things. Your snowfall is gone. And everything can kind of start warming up a little bit. So you start to see a little bit of that effect on the water. And it starts to show in your catches. If there's still a population of lobsters moving up through, that's when you should roughly see them. And down like Southwest Nova, down past Digby, down St. Mary's Bay Way, down Yarmouth, and up around the bend to Cape Island, anywheres in this next month or so, things will start coming back around. And that's just, it's not so tidal, and you're not feeling the effects of all the snowfall that's coming off of New Brunswick all the way around the half moon of Nova Scotia's coastline, all the way around the Bay of Fundy. So all that cold snow melt off, that really affects the movement of the lobsters and how fast they want to move, if they want to move. Once that's gone and things kind of right themselves around, that's when things will really start picking up. And once that brackish water stops being in abundance in the bay, everything will start warming up. The lobsters start moving. The fishery starts to become, it starts producing something and actually being something worthwhile. Now there's a couple boats that fish out of here that normally are in the water right now. So I'm not sure whether they're in the water or not. Well, we can see one guy. I'll pan across to it there, but we can see that light blue color boat coming. And you can get a sense for how much tide is going out of the harbor right now. Because the tide has shifted and the tide is moving back down. And has lowered itself about 6 feet vertically right now. And now it's about an hour or so in, and it's really like the tide will really start to push now. And for the first hour or so of the tide running on the surface, you really don't even notice it. It kind of starts. I think he's running his gear off there now. He's steam. What we would do is you'd haul your gear, and especially with this much tide where he's at, you can see how fast he is going down the coastline there compared to how slow he was coming back up. He's just covered about, in the last 40 seconds, he's covered more distance than what he covered the whole time when I pulled up here. And normally in the bay, the tide would run at it's roughly 1.2 to 2 knots on a really full tide. Right now the tides are really full. Out in the bay, the tide would be starting to rip about 2 miles or 2 knots, and that would be going down towards the west right now. That's the direction when the tide would be leaving the bay. There's some curlers starting to form out there around the tip of the dig we got. But for the most part right now, these guys will probably, I'd say he's fishing some crab. And they fish that. It's an invasive species that came, and they'll fish that in this basin. And the guys in the fishery, District 34, that's just to the south of us here, that goes from the lower part of Digby, St. Mary's Bay, down around to Yarmouth. Some people use that. It's a cheaper bait, and they will use it rather than wasting some of their more expensive kinds of bait at this time of the year. Well, let's continue up a little ways further up, see what we can't see. We might be able to get a little better view of him. There's some road, there's a little bit of a road here that goes further. If we get back on the Granville Road that we were on when we came down in here, we can take that up, and it actually will take us on kind of a nice high elevated bird's eye view of probably right where he's at hauling his lobster gear right now, which might be pretty neat. And I haven't really done it since last summer. I think that might have been around June or July, and it was one of the first times that I had it was one of the first videos that I shot with this camera. I come down here because I knew there would be some nice stuff to video, and I'd be able to kind of play with it quite a bit. To my surprise, the memory card that I had got it took me a couple attempts down here to get a good result, because I had to end up going and getting better memory card, because the camera just demands so much that apparently what's been happening is there was a scam going on where they take cheap memory cards, cheap SIM cards, might be a 64 gigabyte, take the hardware out of it and 3D print. So you can see where I'm going with this. They replace the housing, the labels, and now it looks like a SanDisk 250 or a 512 gigabyte memory card SSD, and you use it. And the unfortunate thing of this camera, it gives you a lot of luxury as far as being able to drive and do the videos that I want to do, and focus on driving and not be a liability to everybody else, but make these videos in a safer manner. But with that, this camera demands a lot of memory, because it's recording 360 degrees all the time. So kind of a fun little memory, I guess, of just the learning curve of some of this stuff. And you'll have the best day ever, and you think you got the best thing ever, and you really want to make sure that you've dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's when you're dealing with technology and sometimes camera equipment that requires some technology. And I'll be honest, I'm a beginner. That I always was taken. I was always intrigued by filmmaking and photography when I was younger. Always had the desire to get out into nature and to not really waste my days. And that goes on a different level for whoever you are. But it's been nice. It's been nice having this project and something to focus on as I am going on this next chapter of my life and trying to move past my days of lobster fishing and it's a whole new chapter, and kind of excited for it. It's been fun so far. It definitely keeps me on my toes because there's so much more that I don't have a clue about that I want to learn, but there's so much that you don't even know that you don't know it. Like, if that statement makes sense. You can't learn something that you don't know that you don't know. And trying to go about learning some of that, the only way is that I found with photography and making some of these videos is like the instance with losing the majority of my drive with my footage back into Annapolis that day. The footage failed. It failed because of where I put the camera and the settings and the situation that I was using. It wasn't a fault of the camera, it was a fault of my knowledge about the camera and its situation and its ability. So it's nice to have something that's it's challenging, but it's only as physically challenging as I make it. Yes, some days I might get out and take a little bit longer walk than I should have, but I'm just happy that the camera might give me a little bit more motivation to get up and do something that on that same day I might have fished for an excuse not to do it. Chronic pain can do that to you. It can make you say tomorrow a lot. And tomorrow just isn't always in the cards. Well, there he is. He's going right up through the bay there, or right up through the dig we got now. It almost looks like he's going back into the wharf. You know, on high tide, this would be when he would probably be going back in. I think I'm going to swing back down in the wharf. That'd be great if I could catch him coming into the wharf for you guys. What a beautiful spot to live, though. Down here, Victoria Beach. And this is right across the Digby Gap from Point Prim Lighthouse. It was over there just a number of days, well, a week or so ago. It's going pretty good. Yeah, I would say he's done for the day and he's headed to the wharf. What a way to end the video if that works out. That'd be too great. That's most definitely where he's done. He's got her painted different. She used to just be all light blue. I really like the new paint job on her. It looks pretty. It spruced her right up. His dad's a big Boston Bruins fan. So that's why she's named Basin Bruin. That boat, she's the same hull as the boat that me and my father built. Our boat would have been the color blue that's up around his bow and up around in his guards and whatnot. See if you can't get this. This would be a beautiful little shot. Nice boat. So there's Sea Pride Hull from down Cape Island. From down Cape Sable Island, Barrington Way. And that's the company that makes the hull is Sea Pride. And me and my father had one just like her. Well, let's turn this thing right here. That's the beauty of her. You can spin this thing right around like a dime. So he pulls in there and he lets his mate off. And he must go in and do his bait and get stuff ready. I really like the color of that there now. It just gives a little contrast to her. Makes the stem on the bow pop out. It's quite pretty. And there's no back, if you're kind of curious, there's no back in the boat there. The stern is open. And that's just, with the lobster fishing, it makes it a whole lot more safe. It's a lot safer when you're dumping gear. A lot less likely to get tangles, to have anybody get tangled into the rope or anything like that. I would say these guys are just setting some gear. They might not have actually been hauling. Given the weather that we've had, and the fact that this deck is so clean, I'd say that's what he's doing. They're just setting some lobster gear. Cool. I'm in a tight little spot here. We'll do a 30-point turn. Oh well. It's the beauty of the Jeep though, so you can go wherever you want. Within reason, as long as you use your old coconut on top of your shoulders. That's just what they've done. They've set some lobster gear. They're probably going to set another batch of gear. Probably that stuff right there on that wharf. They're probably going to, I would say, probably load it up. I mean, all honesty, he could set it. That boat is, if they, they do it properly, that boat can handle it. But for what you're gonna go out and get, they're probably just gonna put them on because the tide is heavy. Or not heavy, the tide is full. And then from there, they'll probably let her set until the next proper wind day. And that might be tomorrow after some of this snow comes and melts off. But depending on where they're going, I don't think out around the bay, I don't think that's going to be much of a sail for them. I would go down in amongst there, but I don't really want to be in amongst them when they're doing their work. I know what it's like when you're working with the tide. There's only so much time, and you really don't need somebody pestering around you trying to stick a camera in your face. I'll call it as it is. I used to be them guys, and I know how much I kind of appreciated it. I mean, it was always nice having the interactions with some of the tourists, but sometimes it got to be a bit much. But what a gorgeous day. I was kind of hoping that I might get to see a boat or something, see something taking place down through here. I mean, with what my livelihood used to be, every now and then you get that itch. You just need to be around a wharf, you need to be around the water, you need to kind of see the boats doing something. I really want to get a drone. Not for in around towns so much, but for some of those beach shots. And I'd like to be able to get, there's a lot of places over on the Bay Shore that I know of with fishing and stuff where at certain times they're going to be in really close, and I can actually, where I could actually get a drone out close to a boat, not interfere with them, but I could show you the process of hauling gear. I could do some stuff with it that would kind of, it would be like you're there, but you're not in nobody's way. So it's another thing that I'm toying with. I'm gonna end the video here as I head back up through Victoria Beach and head towards Annapolis Royal and eventually back home. Thank you for joining me. I hope you found this video interesting. Let me know what you think. Oh, jeepers, hiccups. I can definitely tell I need something to eat. Now let me know in the comments what you think about the audio, if the audio is an improvement for you, if it was a non-issue, or you know, if you want the commentary, or what, you know, just let me know what your thoughts are on it. But I'm kind of excited for not having that whistle, and I wish I kind of had it sooner. I just hope that it's a drastic enough difference that it makes the videos more enjoyable, because I don't think anybody liked that high pitch. Anyway, thank you for joining me. If you've watched till now, up until this point, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. And until next time, enjoy your day and try not to waste them.